Got a 2007 Pontiac Grand Prix. It's got a, of course, the V6. Just doing a simple transmission fluid service. I'm gonna make a conscious effort to make this as neat as possible, because normally I get a transmission bath. Try to implement slow and steady of getting this fluid drain. The guy's very meticulous about his vehicle. He had this transmission replaced or rebuilt 3 years ago. I didn't do it. I think it was Cotman's or somebody around here, one of the very common transmission rebuild facilities. So we're gonna take a look inside here and see. And I'm just gonna pull a sample of this fluid, see what it looks like, and you can give me your thought on if it's supposed to look like this or not, because so I can get one of those openings. I'd imagine after 3 years of being there, brand new components, the transmission fluid wouldn't look as tarnished. I gotta put a heater core in this joker also, so I figure I want to make it an easy day. I'm gonna go ahead and just do the transmission fluid first instead of doing the hard thing first, the hard part first, or the lengthy repair first. Not going to make a mess today. Oh shit. Alright, I think it's safe to come down now. It's pretty heavy. Oh shit, okay. Man. Well, I could have poured that in that bottle. Looks nice and clean inside of here. Really nice. So I really think the clutches are just gonna prematurely wear out. You know, I don't know, every time I get a transmission, somebody rebuild it, you know, that would concern the hell out of me. Only because, I don't know what the hell's going in there. Somebody else is doing the work for me. And let's see if there's any magnets. Oh, there's one. There's the magnet right here. Here's our magnet. It does have quite a bit of clutch material on there, but then again, hey, it was new. And you know, it had to go through a break-in period, so it's a possibility that this is just as a result of not being changed since it was brand new. You know, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a lot more clutch material, friction material inside the pan than it would if it was probably changed. Maybe it'll last a little longer after I change it, you know, so maybe that's the case here. I'm gonna get all this cleaned up, put a new filter on here. I am going to reuse this gasket because this gasket is reusable. This is the factory style gasket that's on there, not an aftermarket one. and I'll just simply spray copper spray on it. Here's the pan 3 years after its rebuild. Like I said, I'm gonna reuse this gasket, just clean it up real good and get it with some copper spray. Everything will be just fine. Get this. Again, I pulled the magnet out. It sits in the back over here. Sits up here. I did clean it off, so we're not gonna be able to see any metal or shavings. This is just normal wear. I mean, I've seen a lot worse, especially the magnet will be built up with clutch material, metal. But I mean, everything looks fine. It's just weird that the fluid is just all contaminated after 3 years. I would have suspected it to look a lot better, but you know, hey, that's just me. I didn't rebuild it, but it's a good idea to go ahead and change the fluid. Like I say, he's very meticulous about his stuff, very particular. So I'm gonna get this cleaned up. I'm gonna just use this dirty rag I got here first, just to get all the dirt off, and then I'll hit it with some brake cleaner. Pretty pliable, but we're getting a new one. Basically got a socket with the extension on the inside instead of the outside. Now I'm going to try to flatten it out. This line keeps leaking. For those of you who know a lot more about transmissions than I do, but I've went inside some of these valve bodies and I don't remember this line needing to be that loose. Bypass lines here. I don't think it's supposed to be like that. Don't seem right. Doesn't make sense for the need to leak. It looks like it goes to the I don't know, maybe it just sends fluid in the back here to get lubricated. I don't know. Look like I've rebuilt one of these before, but they don't seem right. I'm gonna leave it like it is though, because it looks like it needs to be in there more snug. Surface is clean. I'll run this on there really quick. Get the fluid in there. Alright, let's see if we can make this work. I got a better funnel, so I ain't got to worry about spilling the fluid like I did on that Ford. You seen that video? The funnel wasn't even in there. I'm using Valvoline Max Life, full synthetic. I am a sponsor because they pay me really good. Really, really good. They pay me so much money, I don't even see the paychecks. Yeah, so I'm gonna let this do its thing. I don't even know how much it's supposed to. I think it's supposed to be 7 quarts. It's supposed to go in here, and these are not. Is this a gallon? Yeah, actually it is. It's 3.78 liters, but it's in a gallon container, so I don't think they're gonna give you the whole gallon. You know how they do. Like they'll give you a chip bag and then like give you a lot more air. That's how that works. So good. I think I managed to get 7 quarts out of the pan. Got back off my test drive here. So here's the old fluid. It was pretty dark. I'm gonna oh shit. Well, I had a clean rag before I got it dirty. Clean spot. You know what? I'm just making a mess. Let's get some paper. Alright, let's see what happens. I got a clean piece of paper. This would look like currently. Just gonna wipe this off. Stick it in the old fluid. Here's the old fluid. Let's see if I can get the new one. See if we made any type of change. Just my luck, I might drop this. Just my luck, I might kick it over. Alright, let's put this back out. It looks too much different. Well, actually it is different. So there's the after, here's the before. So it does have a tint to it, but I mean, being that it was still plenty of fluid in the torque converter, it's not gonna get everything out. And I can understand flushing it with the flushing type device that hook up to the pressure lines and the return line. It'll get the fluid out of there, but I think that'll be all right. We got a new filter. Oh, shit. See, I told you I was gonna keep the fluid. I told you I was gonna do it. But you know, just as we got a new filter in there, and I'm pretty sure with flushing, in most cases, people don't ever change the filter, and they just hook up the return and feed line and pretty much allow the fluid to try to get it at least like 95% of the fluid out. And I'm pretty sure it's like a more than one way to skin a cat with flushing. So, but I mean, this will work out. I can't imagine him having any more problems out of transmission, especially if he's proactive in keeping the fluids changed. I mean, this is a full synthetic. If he changed another 50,000 miles, I mean, I can't imagine this transmission not having. I can't imagine this transmission having issues. But at the same time, you know, I'm not sure what they did when they rebuilt it, if they went through and put any type of updated parts that will cause these common issues. Now, I don't know how people feel about these cars, like the Chevy, this engine transmission package, just this car in general, the Grand Prix. I've done everything you can imagine. I've replaced transmissions, engines, even within engines, plenty of water pumps, intake gaskets. Oh gosh, valve covers, spark plugs, ignition components. I mean, cam sensors, everything. These are crap motors. I will say these are crap cars. I've done radiators, alternators, everything topical on a motor, compressors. I mean, you name it. Even interior. Window regulators, heater cords. Like, I got to do a heater core on this joker. I mean, these I would not. If somebody gave me this car, I would sell it. That's what I would do. I would just straight up sell it, and I would sell it for like half the price of what is normally offered. I just would never buy one of these. Oh yeah, rack and pinions, tie rods, wheel bearings, calipers. Should I name them all? I've done everything. Mass airflow sensors. These cars, not on this particular car, but just Chevys. You know, it's funny, you know, everybody talk about American-made products, you know, how the quality of American-made products. But Toyota, Lexus are the more reliable vehicles. They have the good known reputation. That logically just doesn't even make any sense. Anyway, but this video lacked direction. Didn't really have any direction anyway, but you know, we looked at the fluid. Would you flush it? Because I'm not a big fan of flushing. Is flushing an upsell just to, you know, just for a person that wind up having transmission problems in the future and have to go back to the shop to get a transmission replaced? I mean, I've heard those stories. You know, I've had some people come by and the fluid looked it was so neglected that I was very weary about changing the fluid, and I just left it alone. You know, I remember it was my neighbor's truck. Yeah, across the street, the Hispanic neighbor, not the one I sued. I still haven't told that story yet. But now the guy across the street, you know, he wanted to change the fluids and stuff. No, it was some issues with the shift solenoid, if I recall properly. But went on ahead and changed the solenoid, fixed the problem. But when I put a new filter and fluid in there, third gear, fourth gear clutch pack started slipping. So yeah. And you know, if I think he had what, that's you know, the Chevy. It's got the 4L60 if I recall in there, and they had use it for a work van. And you know, it's one of those things. I mean, but those transmissions were notorious for having third gear slip. But unfortunately, I was considering putting the old fluid back in there, which I should have done, because they say the dirt, the grit, and the oil allow the clutches to have its normal clamping capabilities. Like that friction from the abrasive contaminated fluid is what helps the clutch packs stay engaged, and I guess it becomes thickened. That's why it is a like solutes inside of a fluid that I want to say gelatinous on a very, very small scale, not like literally gelatinous, but it thickens up. It raises the viscosity with the abrasive clutch or ferrous material in there, and so it'll allow the transmission to work as efficient as it can until we put new fluid in there. And we put new fluid, that old contaminated fluid with the clutch material in there lose its abrasiveness because of the better flowing fresh fluid. This car isn't a Chrysler, but I'll give Chrysler that, you know, but they still have their own host of problems with their perfect shift transmission, to where it's capable of making accommodations to maintain adequate transitions between gears, so which is very neat. I did a Chrysler 300 like that. It was like between 13s or so. I don't know what years it goes up to, but I'm not educated on every single vehicle. But you know, everybody has their own host of problems. But other than that, man, I'm gonna work on getting this heater core out at some point in time. And my brain is like, my caffeine high is wearing off. Hit that link, subscribe to the channel, stay informed, have that reassurance on my work. See you on the next one.